Well, hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick video about some cool ideas you can be trying on this mix. The challenge isn't over, so keep uploading, keep commenting on other people's mixes. It's been really cool, and just a big thank you for everybody that has participated. So keep the mixes coming. I'll listen to every single one and make a thoughtful and constructive comment. Hopefully these comments, you won't take offense to them. Thanks for being a good sport. It's just, hey, you know, I'm hearing this. I figured you'd want to know about it so that you can make an improvement and really learn something. So I've noticed a few different patterns that are happening over these mixes, and it's really fun just to go down the list and hear all these mixes that you were doing. Everything's been on these monitors, so I've been very consistently listening to them, and it's cool to see the difference of interpretations, but also your ears as well. And I've seen some patterns though that are some areas that can be better, and they're time and time again, I'm seeing these issues come up. So I'm going to actually be making 3 videos that highlight kind of the 3 biggest issues that I've seen happen over and over. And hopefully it'll be really of a great benefit to see how I approach the track and mixing it and how I conquer these issues. So you're going to see a lot of me mixing the track and just pulling up and getting sounds and making the mix happen. But I'm also going to be talking about how to really avoid the issues that I've been seeing in a lot of your guys' mixes. And there's some secrets that I haven't told you about this track. And a few little tricks that if you didn't know to try them, well, now you know. So let's check it out. I'm going to be pulling up some faders. I just loaded in the tracks. Everything is just, raw and ready to go. So I'll have to kind of pull up the faders. I'll go ahead and pull everything down now, and we will start this mix. So let's check it out. Okay, so I have my mix ready to go here, and the first thing that I really do, I don't know if it's just because I'm a drummer or whatever, but I usually pull up the overheads. So that's these tracks right here. Let's have a listen. Okay, and then I'll see where the snare's at. Go ahead and center that snare. And really, it's not that I'm doing any mixing, but what I'm doing is making sure the tracks are adding together, okay? So this is really the first secret of the mixing process that I didn't exactly tell you guys about. But here's kind of something cool, okay? So take your overheads, put them in mono. We're listening in mono, okay? Okay, now what we do, we're at the part where the snare is playing, so now let's bring up the snare drum. Listen to that again. Here's with no snare mic. Here's with the snare mic. Okay, it sounds worse, okay? So there's your hint right there, is something's not right. And so when I did this, I kind of left a little surprise for you guys, is that you have to actually check the phasing here and make sure that stuff is working together, okay? So it's a mixed challenge, right? I wanted to challenge you guys. So flip the phase, let's see what happens. Okay, unflip the phase, here's what we get. Okay, so we're actually getting some fullness by making sure that the overheads and the snare are working together, okay? So literally I'm just listening in mono so that everything is super easy to hear, and then I'm pulling up the snare drum microphone to match the sound of the snare in that overhead. So the sound of the snare and the overhead may be somewhere down here, and so I'm pulling up the sound of that close mic to match it, so that I can flip the phase and see if it is adding together, okay? Okay, so I definitely hear a difference in that, okay? And you kind of learn to hear what it sounds like. It has that weird ring to it. It's like kind of a weird boxy sound, okay? This may be why there's some repetitive issues in the mid-range, okay? I heard a lot of mixes that the snare didn't have enough oomph, okay? This snare could sound full enough to where it's a really full-bodied drum. Now, if you didn't check this, then look at this here. Okay, now if I didn't flip the phase on that top mic, here's with it flipped. Okay, so more body. Okay, everything's working together here. So flipping that top mic was the key because now the bottom mic will sound fuller as well. Okay, so it's kind of a double negative if you didn't catch that. Okay, but now you know. Okay, so that's one thing. It's almost like checking the gas in a car. Maybe, you know, if you drive, if you have a car, when you first got in a car, you were probably so nervous to not wreck the car that you didn't check the gas, you didn't check the temperature of you know, the engine and stuff. You just went. But as you developed, you learned, okay, let's check, you know, how much fuel is in the car. Little things like that. Tire pressure, is that okay? You learn to kind of look at a bigger approach to things the more you're able to develop your skill set. So this is just part of the basics of pulling up tracks and seeing how stuff works. So let's keep going with this. We have our overheads in mono. Now let's pull up the kick. Okay, we're gonna listen to this, how loud the kick is in those overheads. Pull up the close mic to match it. Now let's flip that phase. See? So it's fuller with it flipped. So there's a couple things we could do. We could you know, we could flip the overheads instead and then turn these right side up. That's something that I've actually suggested people doing in a video on my channel, you know, because that way the kick and the snare are right side up. Some people say they can really hear a difference in that. It's probably the best practice, but just know that the kick and the snare, the kick in and the snare, have to be flipped to get the fullness of those drums. Kick out, let's see how those work together. We're just going to solo these. I like that flipped as well. So I think what I'll do is I'll unflip these and then I'll flip the overheads. Okay. Okay, still recording. Good. So that way our kick is right side up. I still hear a difference. Yeah. So it's just opposite, right? I flip the overheads instead of the snare. Okay. So now we have kind of stuff coming together. The next thing I do is I check that that tom here. And where would I play the tom? Okay, let's hear it flipped. Okay, I like that best unflipped. And then the floor tom with those overheads. I like that also unflipped. So yeah, that's how I would get the fullness out of those drums. Okay, now from here, let's just see what the room mics are doing. So room left, room right. Where'd they go? Oh, here we go. These are both mics in mono, okay? So we can hear if there's a discrepancy in the phase. So it got fuller there. Okay, that's the idea, is fullness. Now, if you don't want the lows in the room mics, I get it, but there's still things adding and stacking on one another harmonically that you want to make sure they stack. I guess technically there could be like comb filtering and stuff that happens, on up the line. And there's Flint now. So, but yeah, you want to make sure that stuff is stacking correctly. Otherwise, the fullness, the mid-range, it's going to be a little jacked up, okay? So now we have the fullness. Here's with it out. Okay, this was just a spaced pair in the room, so, there's nothing really coincident about this at all. It's just something I threw up. And panned, it's hard to tell the difference. But when you put them together in mono, you could really hear what's happening. That's why we go to mono. So let me just kind of build a quick kind of drum mix that we can fill it in with the guitars and stuff. And this is not necessarily the order that you have to go, but I'm just kind of building the track kind of before your eyes, I guess. Okay, floor time's on the right in this particular thing. Okay, so already sounding good. Everything's working together. No EQ, no compression at this point. Now we're going to go ahead and add the bass, DI bass, amp bass. Okay, now we're going to hear some guitars. Let me just solo all the guitars because I don't want to mess with my mix. But I want to just, move stuff around with the faders here. Let's see here. Okay, that I think should be everything. So let's just listen to the guitars. The DI track, obviously. Another DI track. Very clean track there. That's kind of a cleanish sound that's got like a little buzz in it. It's kind of cool. Cool. So there's lots of cool flavors that we have to work with here. So I'm just going to pick the one that I like so that I can use as little EQ as possible to get the closest tone that I want. Okay, so let's see here. Let me just undo a lot of this junk here. Okay. Okay, so we hear there that's obviously the same take, DI on the right and amp on the left. It has kind of a mono-ish kind of sound. That's just how you know is you just hard pan stuff. and I'm just kind of seeing what goes well together. Is really what I'm doing. I would have, if I wasn't creating a video, I'd actually look at the labels, but I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. So those are unique takes there. Let's see if this was a unique take. Sounds unique. So let's just go for it. Now, one thing that I've been noticing that you guys are doing is you choose like every guitar and you let it rip, every single one of them. I would pick like 2, maybe 3. Okay, so you don't have to even do the center one. I think it's cool just to have them hard panned, but I'd say pick 2 or 3. That's just what I would do. So yeah, so just pick what you like and ditch the rest. You don't have to feel bad about not using something. I gave you some like not even that great of sounding tracks for a couple of them, just because I thought this song is amazing for this type of sound, and then I threw in these others that, I mean, they're not bad necessarily tones, but it's not really what I'd pick for the song, so you don't have to use everything. So then we have our basic kind of mix going on here. Now let's see what this is here. This is a Vox reamp, and okay.
Now you got someplace else to go. Are you tripping down a staircase? The glass slippers on your toe.
Okay, so there's kind of a real basic mix. Now, I did add some delay here to the Vox reamp room sound. Yeah, right here. So, let's see here. Now, I probably meant to give you guys a stereo version of this track, but everything was mono, so it went out as mono. But I have like a fake stereo thing going where one side, it's a duplicated track of the same thing, but one side has a delay of 40 milliseconds, the other has a delay of 80 milliseconds.
Well, you had me right at midnight. Now you got someplace else to go. Are you tripping down a staircase? The glass slippers on your toes.
So yeah, that's a really basic mix, and no effects, no EQ, but if you had to send that out to, to a CD player, your car, whatever, it might sound a little boomy, a little dull, but there won't be any like really big surprises in it, and that's kind of the secret, is no big surprises. From here, add compression first. Okay, add compression, see what that does for the track. Then add EQ using high pass first, and then low pass second, and then band EQ, parametric, things like that. Obviously, use parametric in reductive kind of applications. So take a little out here or a little out there, and then lastly, hey, the kick really does need a little boost. Okay, go for it. Add a little bit of that 80 hertz or something. But maybe in the kick, maybe it's the 150 or something that makes the kick sound boomy. So take that out and see what that gives you. So that's really my solution for the problem of big sounding mixes. If your mix is lacking in fullness or just doesn't translate as nicely as you think that it should, definitely just getting levels and making sure that all the microphones are working together can really help you go a long way. And then from here, it's just fine tuning. This is probably, it's maybe about half done. Okay, and all we've done is just make sure mics are working together and kind of plan out. Okay, we might have hard pan guitars and we might have some distorted vocal and I didn't mention this, but that vocal, the original vocal, let's see if it's in phase.
Girl, you had me right at midnight. Now you got someplace else to go. Girl, you had me right at midnight.
Okay, so that as well, if you were to flip one of those, it looks like you would lose some low end. So you have to really check this stuff every step of the way. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions on this. I'm only making video 2 about compression. So video 2 will be about compression. I hope this helped you out. I'm looking forward to continuing to hear these mixes of yours. I'll talk to you soon.